A bright summer day turned dark June 28, 1914. Sarajevo, a city shimmering in the Bosnian sun, became the stage for a tragedy that would change the world. A young man, Gavrilo Princip, stepped forward. He raised a pistol. Shots rang out. Archduke Franz Ferdinand, heir to the Austro-Hungarian throne, and his wife Sophie lay dead. The world held its breath. This was no ordinary assassination. It was a spark in a powder keg. The assassination sent shockwaves through Europe. Austria-Hungary, a sprawling empire, was outraged. Fingers pointed at Serbia, a small nation seeking to unite the South Slavs. Austria-Hungary saw an opportunity to crush Serbian ambition. Few knew it then, but the clock was ticking towards a global conflict. Europe in the early 20th century was a powder keg of tension. Great powers, hungry for land and prestige, eyed each other with suspicion. Germany, a rising industrial giant, felt constrained by its rivals. France, still smarting from a defeat in the Franco-Prussian War, longed to regain its lost glory. Great Britain, the world's dominant naval power, watched nervously as Germany's navy grew. Nationalism, a powerful force, surged through Europe. People felt a strong sense of loyalty and pride in their own nations. This often led to rivalry and distrust between different ethnic groups. The Balkans, a volatile region in southeastern Europe, became a hotbed of nationalist aspirations. Europe's great powers had formed a complex web of alliances. These were meant to deter aggression, but they ultimately made the situation more dangerous. Germany, Austria-Hungary and Italy formed the Triple Alliance. Opposing them was the Triple Entente: France, Russia and Great Britain. These alliances meant that a conflict between two nations could easily drag in others. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand triggered these alliances. Austria-Hungary, with Germany's backing, issued an ultimatum to Serbia. It was designed to be unacceptable, a pretext for war. Russia, bound by treaty to protect Serbia, mobilized its army. Germany, fearing a two-front war, declared war on Russia and its ally France. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand set off a chain reaction known as the July Crisis. A month of frantic diplomacy failed to prevent the slide towards war. Austria-Hungary, with German support, demanded satisfaction from Serbia. Serbia, backed by Russia, tried to negotiate but was ultimately trapped. As tensions escalated, Europe's leaders exchanged telegrams in a desperate attempt to avert catastrophe. But the momentum for war proved too strong. Military timetables, decades in the making, took over. The world watched in horror as Europe marched towards the abyss. Germany's war plans played a key role in the outbreak of World War I. The Schlieffen Plan, named after its architect, called for a rapid knockout blow against France. Germany would then turn its attention to Russia. This plan relied on speed and precision. It assumed that Britain would remain neutral and that Russia would mobilize slowly. Both assumptions proved disastrously wrong. Britain, bound by honor and strategic concerns, declared war on Germany after the violation of Belgian neutrality. Russia, despite its vast size, mobilized more quickly than expected. Germany's gamble had backfired, leading to a two-front war. On August 4th, 1914, Britain declared war on Germany. The lights, in the words of Sir Edward Grey, the British Foreign Secretary, were going out all over Europe. What began as a regional conflict in the Balkans had exploded into a global war. Millions of soldiers marched off to battle, full of patriotic fervor. Few realized the horrors that awaited them. The outbreak of war sparked a wave of enthusiasm across Europe. Crowds gathered in the streets, cheering on their soldiers. Young men rushed to enlist, eager to prove their courage and patriotism. They believed it would be a short war, a glorious adventure. They were tragically mistaken. The declarations of war came in rapid succession. Germany declared war on Russia on August 1st, 1914, and on France 2 days later. Britain declared war on Germany on August 4th, after German troops violated Belgian neutrality. Austria-Hungary declared war on Russia on August 6th. The Ottoman Empire joined the Central Powers on October 29th. The world watched in horror as the great powers of Europe plunged into war. The conflict quickly spread beyond Europe, engulfing colonies and dominions around the globe. By the end of 1914, a global war unprecedented in its scale and brutality was raging. Most people in 1914 believed the war would be over by Christmas. They imagined a short, decisive conflict with their side emerging victorious. They underestimated the deadly power of modern technology and the resolve of their enemies. Instead of a swift victory, the world was plunged into a long and bloody stalemate. The first months of the war saw a series of offensives and counter-offensives. German advances were halted at the Battle of the Marne in France. On the Eastern Front, Russia launched an invasion of East Prussia, but suffered a crushing defeat at the Battle of Tannenberg. The war quickly bogged down into a bloody stalemate, with both sides digging in for a long and costly conflict. The outbreak of World War I marked a turning point in history. It shattered the illusion of progress and enlightenment that had characterized the Belle Époque. The war would claim the lives of millions, redraw the map of Europe, and usher in an era of uncertainty and upheaval. The world would never be the same. The war had a profound impact on every aspect of life. It led to the collapse of empires, the rise of new ideologies, and the transformation of social and economic structures. It also left behind a legacy of trauma and disillusionment that would shape the course of the 20th century.